You're sitting at home around 6 p.m. You're dressed in your best outfit that took you like 3 hours to get on. You're a bit nervous, so you turn on the TV to calm down a bit. Yet you can't help but feel a bit uneasy. Suddenly the doorbell rings and startles you. You get up from the couch and grab the remote to turn off the TV. You go to the front door and nervously look at the handle for a moment. You gather your courage and turn the knob and slowly open the door. On the other side, you see an extremely handsome creature with a rose in his mouth. The top half of him is a human with tentacle arms, and his bottom half is all tentacles entirely. He's wearing a tux and his trademark Squid hat. He says as he hands you the rose. You bring it up to your nose and smell it. You're greeted by the scent of rotting fish, and it excites you to no end. Suddenly you feel something grab you from behind and notice that the man in front of you has wrapped his tentacles around you. He lifts you up off the floor and brings you to his car, going on and on about his anime collection all the while. You found this extremely attractive and can't wait for the evening ahead. He sets you down in the passenger seat of his Lamborghini that is definitely his and was totally not stolen. He goes around to the driver's side and starts the car. As he pulls out of your driveway, he hits your mailbox but pretends it didn't happen. He drives at a steady 20 miles per hour, all the while explaining how watching anime subbed is far superior to watching it dubbed. Your heart is beating very fast now as you can barely contain how aroused you are by this man. After what feels like an eternity, you arrive at the destination of your evening, McDonald's. The conversation at this point has turned to one about how there's totally a difference between being a lolicon and a pedophile. You're completely convinced and will never mix the two up again. He stops the car and gets out, going to the passenger side door and opening it for you. He once again grabs you with his tentacles and brings you inside the establishment. He calls for a waiter, but no one appears. He moans loudly in frustration and begins to talk about how this sort of terrible service would never happen in Japan. You consider for a moment to speak up and tell him that the store is clearly closed, but think better of it, so as not to spoil the mood. He walks up to the counter and orders a gallon of chicken nuggets, but once again no one responds. He decides to wait until someone will show up to serve him, still unaware the store is closed. This goes on for a good 15 minutes before the distant sound of sirens gets louder and louder. Suddenly a cop car crashes through the wall and a cop dives out and points a gun at the Squid Man. The Squid Man shoots ink in the cop's face and, while still carrying you, jumps through the window. He runs through the back alley until you arrive at his apartment. He carries you inside and makes you meet his mother. She's a very nice lady who smells like calamari. She says she has to head to the store and will be gone for the night as she winks in your direction. The Squid Man brings you to the couch and turns on the TV. He inserts a DVD of Sword Art Online and plays it. He explains that he definitely doesn't like Sword Art Online at all, and you're just watching it so you can laugh at how bad it is. So you sit through all 2 seasons and even the OVAs. He's crying, but he claims it's only because of how bad it is and definitely wasn't moved by the story. He grabs you once more and carries you to the bedroom. Finally, the moment you had been waiting for the entire night, he sets you down on the bed and begins to strip, when suddenly you hear the sound of a car pulling into the driveway. He looks out the window and begins to panic. He grabs you and shoves you on